A color screen, hydraulic disc brakes, a thumb throttle and quick release pedals, all great features, but we can talk about e-bike specs and features all day long. But you're here because this is an RV channel, so first and foremost, this need to be easy to travel with. Lectric has released their newest foldable e-bike, the XP4. Its predecessor, the XP3, completely sold out. They took that opportunity to make some new upgrades. I think that's great. Lectric listened to their customers and the upgrade on the XP4 reflect that. They also did send us a pair to test out, but you guys know the deal. I always want to give you an honest review. So today I am going to tell you what I like and what I don't like. Let's get the most obvious thing out in the open. If an e-bike is not easy to travel with, you are never going to bring it. At a 5.5 feet long, you can load and strap your e-bike down unfolded in a 6-foot bed with a plenty of room to close the tailgate. The XP4S are 62 pounds with the battery removed. So you can also go the traditional route and travel with a bike rack. And because this fold, you can actually put these e-bikes in a storage bins. Start by folding the bike, place it into a storage bin and then lift the bin into the bed of the truck. Now, one person on each end of the bin make it even easier to load. Let's start with the obvious one, the frame. There are two different XP4 frames, a standard frame and the step-through frame, which just has a lower top tube, a little easier to get on. I will not even call the frame on an upgrade, it's just a straight up, entirely new e-bike. Now they do have an XP4 and an XP4 750. We will talk about those differences in a minute. The new frames have a much cleaner lines. The frame is a one color and the front forks, the stanchions and the bars, they left all black. Just a much nicer look in my opinion. They redesigned their tires to be quieter on a flat ground and to grip more on a trails. They give you 4 sets of bosses, which is just a fancy word of an accessory board for things like bike locks, water bottles and flashlights. The XP3 only had 2 sets of bosses, a bigger and a brighter headlight. They moved the wrist throttle that was on the right to a thumb throttle on the left. This new throttle location does take some getting used to, but what nice is, it leaves your right thumb for shifting and your left thumb for throttle. While on this subject, they added taller gears for a 7-speed to an 8-speed. What that means is when you are cruising at a top speed, you are not pedaling like a maniac to keep up. They switched from metal fenders to plastic fenders. Great choice in my opinion. Less weight and less of that constant pinning on stone and dirt trails. Now this is a big one, you still need a key to remove the battery, but on the XP4 you don't need a key to power on the bike and ride. This key is also now on the side of the frame instead of being on the bottom of the frame where it was a pain to access. The display is now a color screen and the option menu is much easier to understand and program. Lots of customizable settings based on how you ride in here. You can turn the throttle and pedal assist on and off independently of each other. You can switch this over to a class 3 bikes right here in the menu. They added turn signals and brake lights. They have even replaced the fold-up pedals and move over the quick release pedals. Personally, I like this pedal more, but you are going to need to remember what you put them because now they come off the bike. Lectric also added a torque sensor. What that means is it senses how hard you are pedaling and matches that assistance. So even if you are in the highest pedal assist model, if you pedal at a constant pace without applying a lot of force, it will recognize that and keep you at the speed until it senses you want to go faster. So definitely a ton of really nice and more importantly use upgrades that make the experience a little more enjoyable. Earlier I mentioned there was an XP4 and an XP4 750. Now there are some different color options between the two. But the two big differences are the battery and the motor. The standard XP4 has a 500 watt motor. It is a 48 volt 10.4 amp hour battery. The XP4 750 has a 750 watt motor with a 48 volt long range 17.5 amp hour battery. So what do all this number means for those of us who just want to ride? A large amp hour battery means you will get more mileage out of a charge. Think of amp hours as the size of a gas tank. The higher amp hour battery, the larger the gas tank and the further you can go. To keep it simple, a large motor is going to handle a heavier loads and heats better, and a large battery is going to last longer. Factors like a train, RVers and assist level are always going to affect your range, but generally speaking, under the same condition, the XP4 is going to get you about 50 miles and the XP4 750 is going to get you about 85 miles on a charge. still have a hydraulic disc brakes, adjustable handlebars, and an adjustable seat. Lectric says the height range for the XP4 is from 4 foot 10 inches tall to 6 foot 3 inches tall. The battery is still internally mounted in the frame and can be charged in or out of the bike. A full charge on a close to dead battery will take about 8 hours, what I think is a pretty impressive with all the upgrades and a new frame. The XP4 still sells the same price point the XP3 did when it was available. They just keep improving the bikes while keep the price point the same. So big thumbs up to Lectric for that. Lectric has their own line of accessories: cargo packages, trunk bags, comfort seats, cooler bags, bike locks, phone mounts, pet carriers, pet trailers, fishing rod holders. Just a lot of really fun accessories to customize your e-bike, and they are giving a bunch of these accessories away for the Black Friday. So I will tell you about that in a second. Okay, on to some things that I think can be improved. I ordered this sports seat for a Terra. Now the seat is nice, but the back support, no matter how hard you lock it down, can be easily moved. We have not noticed it moving while riding, but when loading and unloading the bikes, it definitely slips with just a little bit of a pressure. I think the adjustment assembly needs to be re-engineered so this looks a little bit tighter. The kickstand for it's like many other kickstands, but e-bikes are much heavier than traditional bikes. If you are on a soft ground, this can be sink and will cause the bike to fall. For us RVers, we don't always have the luxury concrete garage, so we are outside in the dirt and the grass. I would like to see them incorporate a large kickstand, especially for us RVers. Removing the battery is a clunky process. Now I am not going to beat up Lectric too bad on this one because I do understand there are advantages to an internally mounted battery. It protects the battery from the elements, it prevents battery theft, which unfortunately is a thing, and it keeps the bike compact, which is a really one of the goal with the folding bike. Removing the battery reduces weight and make for easier loading. If you ride a lot, you may also have a backup batteries. You first have to fold the bike, then you have to lift it off the ground and remove it. The tolerance is tight, which is a good thing. The battery is not wiggling around when you ride, but it can be a little tough to remove. I don't think this is anything Lectric need to change. I don't even know if this is something that can be changed, but definitely something worth mentioning because I know you guys are here for my honest opinion for this bike. Okay, I got my bins from Lowe's. It was the Project Sauce Commander 50-gallon bin. I will put links down below to this bin and some other bins in case you don't have a Lowe's nearby. It seems most 50-gallon bins will work. The bike folded is a 37 inches long by 17 inches wide, so a bin that is a little larger than at the base should work. Lectric will be running their Black Friday sale through the entire month of November, not just on a Black Friday or a Cyber Monday. So if you are in the market to add an e-bike to your RV, I am just saying Christmas is right around the corner. I hope this video helped provide some information not only on the XP4 but something to consider when RVing with the e-bikes, and hopefully I will see you out on the trails.